boy is back with another episode of Coffee and Beats. I am a musical barista, Ride the Magnificent, and I'm back with my top 25 albums of 2022 list. And before I get into it, because I'm so excited about this list, I just want to go out there and just let you know what you need to do first before you even get further into this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like, hit the follow, tell a friend, share this video with your loved ones, because I'm sure they would all love to hear this. Now, before I get into my top 25, this is not a sponsor, but I would just want to shout out International Delight Creamers. They supply some of the best creamers on the market, including the ever so popular Cold Stone Sweet Creamer. So get a chance to get that whenever you get a chance.
And I bet you can't say Cold Stone Sweet Creamer 5 times fast.
Before I get into my top 25, I just want to direct you to the description box down low. Some of you might be looking at this list and saying, man, why didn't Rodney add this album? Or why didn't he even shout out this album? Well, hey, they might be down in the description. So just take a look at those, and I promise you, it won't steer you wrong. So let's get right into it. SZA, SOS. Now, this is the third studio album from the soul R&B singer from TDE, and boy, I really enjoyed this project. A lot of bangers on here, a lot of good production, excellent singing from SZA. Yeah, there were some songs that could have been left out that have been out for a while, but yeah, there was a punk track that she added onto the list, like a punk rock style track that a lot of people didn't feel. With all that aside, that's what the skip button is for. It didn't bother me that much. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check out this album, feel free to do so. There is a clean version of this album, so if you don't like all the rigmarole, well, hey, you heard it here first. Up next, we got Fauna Hughes with Flora Plus Fauna, and this is a very, very good project. I really enjoyed this album. I thought it was one of the sleeper R&B albums of the year. If you haven't got a chance to check this project out, I think you will like it. If you like artists such as Alex Isley or Kirby, I think you will really enjoy this project. Excellent release from Fauna Hughes. At number 23, we got Neil Francis. There is no Neil Francis, right? Right here we have Neil Francis with a very good electronic banger. A lot of good songs on here. Very well placed tracks, good lyricism, good vocals, and a lot of good samples that were placed in a lot of pockets of this project. If you're into the electronic indie rock type style, I think you would like this project a lot. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure you will too. At number 22, we got Stimulator Jones with
Round Spiritual Rain.
Stimulator Jones, who came in number 1 on my top 25 list last season, dips down to the 22nd spot only because it was so much good heat out there. But this album should not be ignored. Very good R&B album. Has a very nostalgic 80s R&B feel to it in some pockets. Got a couple of boom bap R&B hip hop tracks, and there's even a few eclectic moments that I really appreciated about this album, showing Stimulator Jones' range in regards his production, in regards his singing, which is getting better and better with each and every album. And I really enjoyed this project. I'm sure you will enjoy it too, so check it out whenever you get a chance. At number 21, we got The Count and Kaylin Ellis with Vignette, and this is a dope instrumental project. It's one of very few instrumental projects that made my list, and this album is short, sweet, to the point, but with excellent production throughout. It takes you all over the place, to the dance floor, to the booth, to wanting to just bust a freestyle to some of these beats. It is just an amazing project, amazing piece of work. The Count and Kaylin Ellis is a match made in heaven. At number 1, we got a BBO Sound Machine with Electricity, and boy, did I really enjoy this project. So much energy, very beautiful, vibrant musical palettes, and this one, Cut Copy's contributions to this album was very dope. I know it is acquired taste for some, but once you just really listen to this album and really dive deep into this project, I think you'll really enjoy it. If you're not used to their sound, maybe backtrack and listen to some of their older stuff first before you get to this project, but I really enjoyed it. Up next at number 19, we got Ghostly Kisses with Heaven Wait, and this is just a very beautiful, elegant, very angelic album. I think it's a very soothing project to listen to, especially on your downtime. This one really goes down smooth like a warm cup of coffee. And Ghostly Kisses was definitely a huge surprise for me this year. I haven't been familiar with her music until now, and so I really appreciate the delivery that she put on here, the performances that she put on here. I think you'll really enjoy it. It really aged well throughout the year. It did not leave my rotation as I was going throughout the year reviewing a lot of albums. This one stayed in the rotation, so it's fitting that I keep this one in the top 25. Up next at number 18, we got Jazz Is Dead Volume 12. This is the Jean Carney version, and there was a lot of projects that Jazz Is Dead dropped in their second season of Jazz records and albums, but this one just stole my heart. I was really ecstatic to see her combine with Ali Shaheed and Adrian Young to really put together a very nice, warm project. Really saw that she was being challenged vocally for this project, and she really delivered a lot of good harmonies. She was actually doing a lot of teaching in regards to singing certain notes with certain singers that feature with her. If you're a jazz fan like myself, I think you will appreciate Jazz Is Dead Volume 12. At number 17, we got Lady Ray with Piece of Me, and this one stayed in the rotation. Excellent production from L. Michaels Affair on this one, along with Lady Ray's very raspy voice. And I just want to admit something here, and this is epiphany that I had. I just realized that this is Nicole Ray, and I reviewed her album earlier this season, and I'm not realizing that was Nicole Ray, former signee from Missy Elliott, who came out with that track, I Got What You Want, Make It Hot. I really enjoyed that, and I was wondering whatever happened to her, and I'm sitting here listening to this album like, man, her voice sounds so familiar, and then it hit me that it was her. So shout out to you, Lady Ray. I'm not calling you Nicole Ray no more, because Lady Ray, you are doing your thing. You're still doing your thing. Keep it up. No wonder I love this album so much. Up next, we got Devin Lamar Organ Trio with Cold as Rice, and this is an excellent jazz project, very upbeat, a lot of good drums on here, a lot of good kicks on here. Another one for all my jazz heads out there. If you really like some very good sonically laced jazz, this one is for you. I think Delvin Lamar really did his thing this year. He had other side projects that he did, and this one is smoking hot. This one's gonna leave your speakers on fire, and I promise you that. At number 15, we got Say She with Prism, and boy, I've been blown away by this group for a minute. They came out with Forget Me Not's their first single, and ever since then, this group has taken off, and they have not only landed on my top 25 list, but they've ended up on a lot of people's end of the year list. And I just want to say with all my heart that I told you so. I told you guys about this group. You heard it here first on Coffee and Beats before you heard it on all those other platforms. And she, I hope you're listening.
Well, I was the one.
I was the one that said this group's got something special, and I'm glad that they are finally getting their flowers at the end of the year. And here I am to present them with my flowers as well. Thank you, Say She, for a wonderful album. Look forward to hearing more from this wonderful group soon. Up next, we got Samara Joy. Samara Joy with Linger a While. Such a wonderful surprise. Another jazz record just entered my top 25.
Yes, I've been feeling jazzy this year, guys.
Beautiful vocals from this 23-year-old. If you have not listened to this album, what are you doing with your life? please do yourself a favor, go listen to this project, and you will not be sold short. This woman is very talented, excellent record. Samara Joy, keep up the fine work. At number 13, we got Homeboy Sandman with Satellite. This was definitely a surprise treat from Homeboy Sandman. A very clean, nice hip-hop album talking about his struggles of writing music during a time where he was low on funds, contemplating on things that were transpiring in his neighborhood. Very solid production throughout this one. Very good lyricism. Homeboy Sandman. Hey, this one's a good one. I think you guys will really enjoy this one. At number 12, we got Sabrina Claudio with Based on a Feeling. And again, this album sees Sabrina Claudio going back to her roots from her first album, giving you that sensual R&B and good lyricism, good vocals. A lot of people will argue that this is not her best project. I think, me personally, I think it's one of my favorite projects of her collection. And I think she came out of nowhere with this one. And at number 11, we got The Comet Is Coming, Hyperdimensional Expansion Beams. And this album is an experience. This is not just music, this is an experience. And if you are into challenging your ears with psychedelic, jazzy production, this album is like explosives all up in your ears as this group just continues to impress me with their ultrasonic jazz infused music. And I really appreciate this project. If you are into that left field type of jazz, I think you will like this album. And now we're gonna get into the top 10 of my list. Top 10 albums of 2025 from Coffee and Beats. And where else to start but E.S. Yes, he is a hip-hop artist, and he came out with a new album called You Want a Piece of Me, and this is a great hip-hop project. If you're into that clean rap, excellent production throughout, excellent lyricism. If you're into like artists like J Live, it reminds me of a J Live project from like the early 2000s. It will definitely take you back, and I really think it's one of the most slept-on hip-hop albums of the year. Give this man a shot, and I think you're gonna really enjoy listening to him just as much as I did. At number 9, we got Salt with 11. Now, this is just one of a series of albums that Salt came out with this year. Remember, as you recall, back in November, they came out with 5 albums in 1 week. And this was one of the albums in that bunch. And I must say, this was the most enjoyable one for me. I thought the production was the best out of the 5 projects. I thought the vocals were the best out of the 5 projects. I thought the creativity was the best out of the 5 projects. And it wasn't as preachy as the other projects that they released. I thought this was just a fun listen by Salt. They just kind of let their hair down on this one. They were just having fun, and I really enjoyed this one out of all of the releases they came out with last year. But hey, whenever Salt releases something, hit the button and just listen. You know,
I was gonna say CD, but you know, it's some CDs in there.
Up next, we got the Sacred Soul self-titled album at number 8. Yes, and this was definitely a treat. Very soulful album. A lot of good soul ballads on here. Extra crispy production, and I just really enjoyed it. I would love to see this band live. They sound like they're just live performances. Very romantic in some pockets to listen to, and I think this is another one of those sleeper albums of the year, and they're one of those sleeper groups of the year that's going to catch on late. But hey, if you haven't heard of these Sacred Souls, you've heard it here first. Go back and check out my review of this album. I was really, really impressed with this project, and I think you will be too. At number 7, we got Mad One with Conception Immaculate. And the first time I reviewed this, I said Madone, but upon further research, they're called Mad One. So yes, this is a very good project. This is an album that I just so happened to stumble across earlier this year, and I was so impressed with the production from this band. I love the well-placed vocals in some of the pockets of this record. This was a really good record. I knew it was gonna sit well with me from the minute I heard the song Swan. But man, this album is really good, and it's a sleeper, another sleeper project for you guys. So I think you will really enjoy it. At number 6, we got Crackazak with Evergreen, and this is, if you're looking for one of the best house music projects of the year, besides the new TSHA album, I think you will really enjoy this project. I was recommended this album from a few DJs, so shout out to them. Very good vocals, very good house tracks throughout, and if you're a house music junkie just like myself, I think you will really enjoy this one as well. Give this one a shot. Now we're getting to our top 5. At the 5th spot, we got Marco Polo with MP on the MP Beat Tape Volume 3. Yes, there are 2 other volumes of this one that are pretty good, but none of them stands close to this project. This is the best instrumental hip-hop album I've heard in 2022. Very good production throughout. Just Call My Name, the track Just Call My Name is probably one of the most beautiful instrumental records that I've heard in a long time. I mean, it was just, when you have an instrumental that's literally talking to you and telling you it's okay. If you like that boom bap, go ahead and give this man a shot. Up next, we got LeBlue and A Strong with Blue Phases at number 4. And man, when I tell you, this was one of the most beautiful R&B albums I've heard throughout the 2022 season. Man, this one left me speechless. I love the beautiful vocals laced throughout this, the beautiful production laced throughout this album. It was like a bite of some great pound cake that your grandma made with the secret ingredients that no one else knows about. I didn't know I was going to fall in love with this album when I first listened to it, but throughout the course of the year 2022, this one really resonated. And shout out to LeBlue, shout out to A Strong for putting together an amazing project. Coming in at the 3rd spot, we got Domi and JD Beck with Not Tight, and this album is nothing short of amazing. I am so impressed with these 2 kids. The keyboarding, the electrifying drum play. This guy is literally leaving well-renowned musicians speechless with his drum play. Great features throughout this one. Herbie Hancock of all people. You got Busta Rhymes. You got Snoop Dogg on this album, lacing together a beautiful track. And shout out to Anderson .Paak for introducing us to such an amazing group of young people. And also Mac DeMarco makes an appearance. Excellent album. There's nothing more I can say about this one. At number 2, we got Ghost Funk Orchestra, A New Kind of Love. And again, like I said before, these are not just songs or certain songs that you will put on repeat. This is a whole album on repeat. I really enjoy everything about this project. I've been a big fan of theirs for quite some time. I think this is their best project to date. Sonically, the instrumentals are amazing. The singing on here is amazing. Just the live presentation from all of the music on this project is just a thing of beauty. Landing here at my number 2 spot, I really love this album to death. You outdid yourselves on this one. Good job. Good work. And last but not least, at the number 1 spot, she's been my theme song pretty much this whole year. Alex Isley with Marigold. I think this is one of the best R&B projects I've heard in a long time. I just was blown away by every song on this album. I got an opportunity to watch her perform this album live, and it deepened my appreciation for this album even more. She has one of the most beautiful voices in music, period. I mean, she is an Isley for a reason. She showed it on this album. It was just so smooth. This flows beautifully with the beautiful production by got Jack Dine on here. I just really enjoyed everything about this project. I hope that you haven't gone the whole year of 2022 without listening to at least one song on here. Go into 2023 listening to this project, and no matter what mindset you're in, it's going to make you feel so much better, just like it does me every time I put in this project. And that's about it. Alex Isley, congratulations. You made #1 on Coffee and Beats Top 25 Albums of 2022. That's my list, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent, and I just want to do one more shout out before I go. I want to shout out Saul Sounds for dropping his poetic infused album Survivor. A good friend of mine's from a distance, but hey, after listening to this album, I feel like I've known him forever. I think you will really enjoy it. If you're into poetry like myself, I think you will really enjoy it. So give my man a shot. With that being said, I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent, and again, when it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life. I will see you in season 5. Gonna be taking a little break from Coffee and Beats, and then season 5 will be up and running in another month. And also got a bonus episode coming up with the Neo Soul bracket. Look out for that. But until then, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Watch your operator. Just leave back already in your car.